Dear respected uncles and aunts, wishing you abundant health, peace, and happiness with your family. I am very happy to see you again in today's video. Our channel team is always grateful for the support and companionship of all of you throughout the past time. Today, we will together explore a very important topic, but one that few people pay attention to. That is the types of foods that many people still consume every day, but that contain hidden risks to health. Sometimes familiar dishes and family meals actually contain unexpected risks that seriously affect cardiovascular health, the digestive system, and even longevity. Have you ever wondered why foods that seem harmless, such as processed meats, fried foods, or even a soft drink, can harm health? The latest studies from reputable health organizations around the world have warned about the harms of these types of foods. But have we really understood them fully? In this video, we will together analyze the 10 most dangerous foods that many people still eat every day, explain why they are harmful, and most importantly, guide you on how to change eating habits to protect your health. 10 harmful foods that you should completely avoid. Number 1. Processed meat. Processed meats, such as smoked meat, sausages, and cold cuts, have become familiar dishes for many people. However, the latest information has emphasized that this is one of the most harmful foods for your health. The World Health Organization has a clear stance, classifying processed meat into Group 1 carcinogens, equivalent to harmful substances such as tobacco and asbestos. The main reason lies in the use of nitrates in processed meat products. Nitrates are often added to preserve and enhance the flavor of meat products. But during processing, they can transform into nitrosamines, a known carcinogen. The scientific link between processed meat and higher cancer risk emphasizes the importance of caution when consuming this type of food. Not only stopping at cancer risk, processed meat is also related to hardening of the arteries, breaking down the natural elasticity of blood vessels. This leads to high blood pressure, increasing the risk of cardiovascular problems. Research from Offer University also warns of this risk, showing that consuming 50 g of processed meat per day can increase the risk of coronary heart disease by 18%. In light of these convincing findings, making cautious food choices is very important to minimize health risks. The advice for you is to limit, even avoid processed meats if possible. If you still want to use them, choose organic products without nitrates to reduce risks. The information about processed meat forces us to reflect on our eating habits. No. 2. Fried foods. When it comes to fried foods, one of the most dangerous candidates in the list of 10 harmful foods that many people still consume daily. We need to clearly recognize the health risks from this processing method. Deep frying is the process of soaking food in hot oil, causing food to absorb many harmful trans fats. According to the American Heart Association, trans fats increase LDL cholesterol levels, a leading risk factor for cardiovascular disease. Studies show that for every 2% of energy from trans fats in the diet, the risk of coronary artery disease increases by 23%. Are you one of those people who love fried foods and sugary soft drinks? If so, you need to listen up because there is a good chance you are reshortening your lifespan without even knowing it. First, let's talk about fried foods. We all love that crispy, delicious goodness, but it comes at a cost. You see, when you fry food, especially at high temperatures, you create a substance called acrylamide. And according to the U.S. National Cancer Institute, this compound is a potential carcinogen. That's right. It could increase your risk of developing cancer, including ovarian cancer and kidney cancer. And let's not forget about the extra calories. Fried foods are often high in calories, which can lead to obesity. And according to the World Health Organization, more than 1.9 billion adults worldwide are overweight, with 650 million of them being obese. Obesity is a major risk factor for many diseases, including type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and some cancers. Now let's talk about sugary soft drinks. The link between these drinks and the alarming rise in obesity rates is well established. According to the latest data from the WHO, 133% of the adult population worldwide is obese. And guess what? It's not just about being overweight. A study published in the Journal of the American Dental Association showed that people who drink soft drinks frequently have a higher risk of tooth decay and oral diseases. The acid in these drinks erodes the enamel of our teeth, making them more susceptible to decay and damage. You may be doing this every day, and it is destroying your teeth and raising your blood sugar. Let me explain. Firstly, sugary drinks like soda and juice cause a sudden rise in blood sugar levels. This can lead to insulin resistance, which increases the risk of developing diabetes. The combination of high sugar content and acidity in these drinks creates a major danger to both metabolic and oral health, making them one of the most insidious nutritional hazards. Soft drinks not only harm metabolic health, but also accelerate enamel erosion, undermining the foundation of oral health. We have already discussed a lot about soft drinks, and I believe there is no doubt left in your mind about their harm to health. However, there is another habit that you may be doing every day, even thinking it brings special benefits. Be cautious with the content I will reveal next. Breakfast cereals. 6 worst grain types that can cause high blood sugar. No. 6. Refined grains. Scientific studies have highlighted the hidden harms of this type of grain. The problem is that during the refining process, the nutritious bran and germ are removed, leaving the final product, which is basically just flour, devoid of essential nutrients. Diets high in refined grains have been shown to cause inflammation, insulin resistance, and an increased risk of chronic diseases, such as cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes. Refined grains also tend to have a high glycemic index, which means they can cause sudden increases in blood sugar levels. A study published in the Journal of Internal Medicine concluded that diets rich in high GI foods, including refined grains, increase the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Number 5. Trans fats. We'll continue to explore the concerning link between trans fats and the high risk of cardiovascular disease. Trans fats are artificially produced through a process called hydrogenation, which converts liquid oil into solid fat to extend shelf life. These unhealthy fats are commonly found in margarine, baked goods, and fried foods. Trans fats have been proven to increase harmful LDL cholesterol levels while decreasing beneficial HDL cholesterol, creating a dangerous imbalance that can lead to heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. Even a small amount of trans fat can significantly increase your risk of developing heart disease. To minimize your exposure, check food labels for partially hydrogenated oils and choose products labeled as trans fat-free. 6. Trans fats. We all know that trans fats are bad for our cardiovascular health, but their negative impact goes beyond that. A research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that trans fats promote chronic inflammation in the body. And chronic inflammation is a precursor to diseases like diabetes and other inflammatory disorders. Even though we're becoming more aware of how harmful trans fats are, they're still lurking in some of our favorite food products, silently wreaking havoc on our health. That's why the World Health Organization has called for the elimination of industrial trans fats worldwide. Their goal is to prevent premature death and protect people from the harmful effects of trans fats. Denmark has already banned trans fats, and it's working. They've seen a huge drop in deaths from cardiovascular disease. 7. Raw seafood. That fresh, delicious taste of raw seafood, especially shellfish and oysters, might be putting you at risk. A study published in the Journal of Food Protection found that eating raw or undercooked seafood can expose you to harmful bacteria and viruses. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, a large number of food poisoning cases are linked to eating raw or undercooked seafood. Pathogens like Vibrio vulnificus can cause severe illness, and that's just one example. There are other pollutants like heavy metals and toxins that can also harm your health. 8. High mercury fish. Continuing our journey through the vast ocean, we now dive into the surprising risks of eating fish high in mercury. What do tuna, swordfish, and king mackerel have in common? They're all delicious, nutritious seafood options. But did you know that they can also be risky? That's right. These fish can be dangerous due to mercury contamination. You see, mercury is a sneaky pollutant that sneaks into our oceans and gets into the tissues of some large predatory fish. And when we eat these fish, the mercury can end up in our bodies. And if we eat too much of it, it can cause some serious health problems, especially for pregnant women and young children. That's why the FDA and EPA have recommended that we limit the amount of high mercury fish we eat. But don't worry, there are plenty of other fish to choose from that are lower in mercury. So next time you're at the grocery store, be sure to check out the labels and choose wisely. Your body will thank you for it. 9 most dangerous foods you should avoid. Some types of fish, like sharks, swordfish, and king mackerel, have very high levels of mercury. As these fish are at the top of the marine food chain, they accumulate higher levels of mercury, which can be dangerous if consumed regularly. To ensure your safety, it's important to choose fish that are lower in mercury, such as salmon, sardines, and trout. Raw or undercooked eggs are a major health hazard due to the potential presence of harmful bacteria, primarily Salmonella. A study published in the Journal of Food Protection found a strong link between consuming raw or undercooked eggs and Salmonella infection. Symptoms of Salmonella can include nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramps, and even blood poisoning. The elderly, infants, and those with weakened immune systems are at a higher risk of severe complications. In severe cases, it can even be fatal. To reduce the risk of Salmonella contamination, it's crucial to cook eggs thoroughly until both the yolk and the white are completely set. Additionally, you can opt for pasteurized eggs, which have a lower risk of contamination. Remember, even if the eggs look clean and fresh, they may still harbor Salmonella. 10 unhealthiest foods you should avoid. Eggs are a complex structure. Their shells are porous, which makes them easy for bacteria to penetrate. Even if you eat freshly laid high-quality eggs, they can still be contaminated. The story of Salmonella bacteria is a reminder that no food is 100% safe. Number 10. Unnaturally raised animal products. Choosing grass-fed meat instead of grain-fed meat is a wise decision. Although meat is a good source of protein, vitamin B12, enzymes, and antioxidants, the quality of meat makes a big difference. Meat from industrial farming, especially from animals that are mainly fed corn and soybeans, can cause problems because it's not the way that animals were meant to be raised. This unhealthy meat can lead to inflammation in the body, which can cause cancer, heart disease, rheumatoid arthritis, and autoimmune diseases. Grass-fed meat is much healthier because it has more omega-3 fatty acids and conjugated linoleic acid, which helps prevent chronic diseases and keeps your joints healthy. Now let's talk about the worst foods for your body. First up, we have eggs and poultry. Now, if you're not buying free-range organic, then the animals are not getting a natural diet. This lowers the levels of vitamin D, omega-3, and vitamin E, and instead, if you're eating wild-caught fish like salmon, it's going to be much more nutritious and it's going to have fewer toxins. So just be mindful of the type of fish that you're consuming. Next up, we have processed meats like bacon and sausage, fried foods, sugary soft drinks, and refined grains like white bread and pasta. These foods are killing people. They're causing cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancer, and they're even damaging nerves because of trans fats, sugar, nitrates, and harmful preservatives. And then we have foods from animals that are unnaturally raised, high mercury fish, raw seafood, and raw eggs. These can make you very sick and even cause food poisoning. The most important lesson here is that we need to start paying attention to what we eat. We need to start learning about the foods that we eat. We need to prioritize natural food sources and avoid processed foods. And we need to avoid foods that are high in trans fats or sugar. Taking care of our health is not just a habit, it's a responsibility to ourselves and to our loved ones. Small changes in our diet can protect our long-term health and allow us to live a better quality of life.